Carney's government just shut down Ford's proposed $5 billion Billy Bishop Airport expansion. Here's why. The plan could have transformed Billy Bishop from a regional airport serving approximately 2 million passengers into a major jet hub handling as many as 10 million passengers every year. On July 24, 2026, the federal government halted Ontario's plan to expand Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport after receiving more than 87,000 responses through a public consultation. Transport Minister Stephen McKinnon said the government would focus only on previously approved safety improvements, not the larger runway, jet, and capacity expansion proposed by Ontario. Billy Bishop currently serves approximately 2 million passengers annually, primarily through regional turboprop flights. The airport sits on the Toronto Islands, only minutes from downtown, making it one of Canada's most conveniently located airports. Ontario Premier Doug Ford wanted to greatly increase its role. The provincial vision included a longer runway, commercial jets, a modernized terminal, and enough capacity to eventually handle up to 10 million passengers each year. The Ontario government argued that expansion would create thousands of jobs, improve competition, provide travelers with more destinations, and reduce pressure on Toronto Pearson International Airport. Provincial estimates claimed a modernized airport could generate as much as $8.5 billion in annual economic activity by 2050. But the federal government is not simply another organization commenting on the airport. It is one of the parties controlling what Billy Bishop is legally permitted to become. The airport operates under a tripartite agreement signed in 1983 by the City of Toronto, the Toronto Harbour Commission's successor, and the federal government. The agreement prohibits commercial jets, restricts runway and landmass extensions, limits operating hours, and controls the total amount of aircraft noise. Major changes require approval from the governing parties. Without federal support, Ontario cannot make the runway and operating changes required for its jet expansion. Ontario attempted to overcome opposition from Toronto City Hall by passing the Building Billy Bishop Airport Act. The law allows the province to acquire city-owned airport lands and replace Toronto in the tripartite agreement. However, replacing the city did not eliminate Ottawa's authority. Ontario could change one participant in the agreement, but it could not remove the requirement for federal consent. Ottawa still held the key. This is not the first time jets have been proposed for Billy Bishop. The airport opened in 1939 and was used for military training during the Second World War. It later became a civilian airport focused on regional and shorter-distance aviation. Porter Airlines transformed the airport after launching service in 2006 with Bombardier Q400 turboprops. Passenger traffic grew rapidly. A new terminal was constructed and a pedestrian tunnel opened in 2015. In 2013, Porter proposed introducing Bombardier CS-100 jets, now part of the Airbus A220 family. That plan required lifting the jet ban and extending the runway by several hundred meters. The proposal triggered an intense debate over noise, air quality, traffic, public parkland, and Toronto's waterfront. In November 2015, the federal Liberal government refused to reopen the agreement for jets, and the plan was abandoned. The same conflict returned in 2026, but on a much larger scale. Supporters viewed Billy Bishop as an underused economic asset located beside Canada's largest business center. Opponents argued that expanding it to 5 times its current passenger volume would fundamentally change Toronto's harbour. Mayor Olivia Chow, local residents, environmental groups, and several city councillors raised concerns about aircraft noise, water quality, wildlife, traffic, and the possible loss of public space. Critics also questioned how the airport could accommodate 10 million passengers without major effects on nearby communities and waterfront development. Those concerns became central to Transport Canada's consultation. After receiving more than 87,000 responses, Ottawa decided not to support the commercial expansion. However, construction is still taking place at the airport, and this is where the distinction becomes important. The Toronto Port Authority began building 2 runway and safety areas in July 2026. These are federally required safety zones located beyond the runway ends. They are designed to reduce the severity of an accident if an aircraft travels beyond the runway. That project does not lengthen the active runway, permit jets, introduce new aircraft, or increase the number of flights. The safety areas are expected to become operational by July 2027. Billy Bishop has also continued modernizing within its existing limits. A United States Customs pre-clearance facility opened in March 2026 with $30 million in federal support, allowing travelers to complete American customs procedures before departure. Ontario says it still intends to pursue airport expansion, meaning the political fight may not be finished. But the current federal answer is clear. Without Ottawa's approval, there can be no major runway extension, no removal of the commercial jet ban, and no expansion to 10 million passengers. For now, Billy Bishop will remain what the 1983 agreement was designed to preserve: a restricted regional airport operating beside one of the most valuable and contested waterfronts in Canada. The deeper debate has lasted for almost a century. It is not simply whether Toronto needs an airport near downtown. It is how much aviation Toronto's waterfront should be expected to accommodate.